Hello, everybody. It's a great privilege and honor to me to bring Dr. Dhandhukia over here on the campus of MLDMHI Palghar. We always have a session for our postgraduates as a part of their career guidance after they have gone through their final exams. And at that time, we used to talk about opportunities that exist beyond Indian shores. And I am really lucky that we have Dr. Dhandhukia here to share with you his live experiences. You all are free to park your questions on the chat box, and as and when the things move on, we will definitely review the chat box and try to address to the questions that you have. I request Dr. Dhandhukia to please proceed ahead.
Thank you, Dr. Aalim sir. It is always my pleasure because this is my parent institute and all that I have learned in homeopathy belongs to here, this place, and all the good teachers like you and so many other faculty members. So it's always a very happy feeling to be here and share with some information which can benefit to budding homeopaths and those who are coming up as homeopaths in their career. I am now in UAE for almost 6 years, and I must tell you that UAE government is extremely supportive for all types of traditional, alternative and complementary medicines, be it homeopathy, be it Ayurveda, Unani, Chinese medicine, cupping. They have developed a very scientific model to support a scientific practice for all the alternative practitioners, and there is a lot of encouragement given by the government by facilitating us with very solid infrastructure where we can practice with confidence and scientifically and showcase our work scientifically on the world platform. Homeopathy is today no doubt legally practiced under as a regulated system of medicine in more than 100 countries, but very few countries, although in India we don't have that, but the UAE is one of such country where homeopathy is supported even by insurance. The patients can actually claim for the reimbursement of whatever fees they are spending on their treatment, depending upon whether they have coverage for alternative treatment or not. All homeopathic doctors who aspire to practice in UAE, there is a very strict entrance exam that one has to appear for, which is conducted by Ministry of Health, and exam is really very scientific and very clinical based. It's not homeopathic based. They make sure that you are first a good clinician. Okay, so all homeopaths who are aspiring to want to move to UAE and practice homeopathy, they have to prepare themselves for this examination. Now there are links available which I will share with you all if you are interested, wherein you can register for the link, and they have to go through a evaluation process first for your authenticity of your documents in terms of your degree certificates, in terms of your identity, passport, everything, residence address, everything. And this is usually evaluated by an agency called Dataflow, which asks you to upload all your documents, and there is a list of documents including your first year mark sheets of each and every subject, or BHMS also. Everything you have to upload, and they will send notification to the relevant institute from where the certificate has been issued to confirm that this certificate is authentic. It takes at least 1 or 2 months to get that evaluation from the Dataflow agency for the MOH. Once it is done, then you will be intimated that your documents are clear. Then you have to apply for an exam date and start preparing yourself for the exam. Apart from your educational degree certificates, all homeopaths should have minimum 2 years of practice experience in their home country. Okay, so if you are BHMS and you are doing MD, if you passed as a BHMS, but if you are studying MD immediately, then you don't have a practice experience. You are immediately going and taking your studies further, which they will understand that you finished your BHMS in 2001 and you in 2022, 21 you have finished BHMS and 22 you are doing your MD. So you haven't practiced yet. So there has to be 2 years practice experience. You should be registered in the local council of your state, and your local council of the state, apart from your registration certificate, they should issue a good standing certificate that there is no legal proceedings against you as a practitioner while you are practicing in the respective state, which council has its own website. On the council's website, this is routinely asked by all those people who are going to abroad for further studies, not only for a homeopathy in UAE, but anybody who goes for abroad even to do an MBA, they will need a good standing certificate from their council where they are registered. Okay, and plus you also have to submit a BLS certificate, that is basic life support certificate, that you are trained and equipped to handle emergency and help somebody as a medical person. If you are traveling on airport and somebody is suddenly got cardiac arrest, so you should be a certified BLS person who would look into it. This can happen in your clinic also. So UAE makes it very clear, and we all have to, once we do this BLS, it expires in 2 years. So till today we have to, every 2 years we have to go and do a BLS training and acquire a fresh certificate, because Ministry of Health will want that clinic wherever you are working uploads these documents regularly, so that documentation process are in place. This is about documentation, your transcripts of your passing cert, your degree certificates, your registration certificate, good standing certificate, and your BLS certificate. If you are able to upload this much successfully and get a report from data flow that it is approved, then you can pay your exam fee and select your date. Exams are purely medical and clinical, not theoretical. So you would benefit if you go through the MCQs of USMLE and entire Davidson, because you can be in an MCQ, you can be given an X-ray film photo and you may be asked to select your diagnosis. You may be given a situation where somebody is undergoing a thyroid medicine treatment and is approaching so and so situation. So what you would do as a clinician, not as a homeopath. If you say I will define a case and give homeopathic remedy, so that choice is not there in that answer. Okay. So choice is that how you will guide the patient as a clinician. Okay. So your from orthopedic to pediatrician to psychiatry to neurology to dermatology to internal medicine, endocrine, you can be tested for anything. And so on MCQ based examination conducted in designated centers in UAE. So you need to fly to Dubai. Once your exam dates are come, you need to fly to Dubai and you need to give your exam. And if you clear the exam, then there is a viva. If you don't clear the exam, then there is always an opportunity to come back. I have gone 3 or 4 times. 3 or 4 times. Yeah. Because what happens is, first time when I appeared, I passed. First attempt I passed. Okay. But I failed in viva. Theory I passed, I failed in viva. Okay. Then I had to do it again. I passed it second time because now I know how to give viva. And theory I already knew. So I passed theory and I passed viva. But then I didn't manage to get an association with the clinic. And the license expires within 3 years if you can't manage to get yourself connected with a clinic who is ready to accept you as a homeopathic doctor in their clinic. Because after passing homeopathy, after passing the MOH exam, you have to, if the MOH exam, once you pass, you are licensed to practice in entire UAE, not only in Dubai. Okay, but whichever emirate you want to practice. UAE is a country which has 7 emirates or 7 states. union of 7 states makes one country UAE. Dubai is one country, Emirates. Abu Dhabi is another Emirates, like that Sharjah, Al Ain, like that. There are total 7. So each Emirates will have their own medical regulating body, which will give you further license to practice in that particular Emirates. So after, based on your Emirates clearance, you need to do that. But that you can do only through clinic. So clinic has to apply that this doctor we are keeping, so give him a license. So unless you have a clinic, nobody is giving you that license. So you just take your MOH, file it and come back. Okay. So usually people do is that first secure the job, then give MOH. They just don't do the MOH and then job hunting. Nobody does. You know, if I know that Dr. Anup is going to give me, he needs a homeopath and he wants me to join him, then he will ask me to clear MOH. So I will clear MOH, and then that's a safer way. But there are people who get lucky, and especially in case of females, they get married over there. The husband is already having a job in any other field, and this person has done a homeopathy, MD, that too after 3 years of Palghar MD, अब उधर जाके practice नहीं करने का. So that's a stress. Correct? Huh? So to do practice, you have to go through this. Then find a clinic, see that you are able to join the clinic, give the exam, clear your licenses, and then practice. Once you have license to practice in a clinic, you are not allowed to practice for at least 3 years. You are not allowed to practice independently. You have to work in a polyclinic. You cannot have an independent homeopathic practice clinic. You cannot start. You have to work in a polyclinic where you are sitting with all other faculties. They have their own departments like internal medicine, pediatrics, orthopedic. One department is homeopathy, and you can join over there. But once you have joined with all the due processes and everything, then sky is the limit. You can do classical homeopathy, you can practice whatever in the best possible way, but yes, you cannot treat life-threatening illnesses, you cannot treat communicable diseases. Yeah. Because there are serious society-related health risks to it, where homeopathy is not proved to be scientifically efficient. So you are allowed to treat chronic diseases which are non-communicable with all the enough evidence and documentation in your system that what you are treating, why you are treating, what patient is presented with, and all your documentation has to be in place. You can be anytime questioned about anything which you need to represent. Okay. As a homeopathic practice in our country, we have a habit of dispensing homeopathic remedies. Yeah, but in UAE it is not allowed. You have to prescribe, and patient has to take that prescription and go to the pharmacy and purchase the medicine. Okay, so there is no placebo practice, so to say. So your patient would know what you are giving. If you are given a constitutional medicine which has not worked, you cannot next time send the patient with placebo. You have to tell the patient that it has not worked and I am changing. And why I am changing. So that brings a lot of transparency in homeopathic practice, and there is a very good support for availability of homeopathic medicines in UAE. There are reputed pharmacies which keep all the homeopathic remedies required, and patient has to approach the pharmacy either with the prescription in person, or they can also place a request online, and medicines usually get delivered with all the invoice and everything over there. After 3 years of practice, there is another exam that you can give for an independent license, wherein if you want to start your own clinic, you can do that also. But initial years, you have to work in the clinic as a polyclinic license. Okay. Any other questions that you think we should address?
Yeah. What happens What should we do about our license that we have in India?
Yeah, so our license over here is, although it does not have any requirement to present over there. Once you have your MOH Ministry of Health license and the respective Emirates license, your own state homeopathy council registration license is not required over there. But as per your country's and council's requirement, you need to keep renewing it, because you never know when you want to come here, you have to renew it, and then you have to pay the fine also, and additional dues for all the years that you have not renewed. Yeah? So that has to be maintained. Your active license has to be maintained here in your own interest, but your practice or your licensing does not have any impact in UAE once you have cleared your Ministry of Health exam and the DHA or Abu Dhabi Health Authority license.
So I will ask the Instagram audience that we are taking up a Q&A. If you have any questions regarding the practice of homeopathy in the UAE, I would request you to write them down in the comment section, and Dr. Dhandhukia sir will answer them. In the meantime, I will ask the audience over here if you have any queries from what all he has said.
Is there any timing restriction of practice?
No, you need to follow the timing which are set as per the license of your clinic.
Okay.
Yeah, the clinic will have set working hours already mentioned in their clinic profile, and you are working during those clinic working
So when
hours.
it comes to that polyclinic, that polyclinic will have its own time.
Yes.
The polyclinics in India are slot based.
Yeah.
Whether the same practice is
Yeah,
followed
yeah,
or
yeah.
even
Yeah. So
independent.
if you no, if you are working in a polyclinic, so if you have agreed to work that 2 hours you will sit in the morning and 2 hours you will sit in the evening. So accordingly, the arrangements are made in the clinic for you to come and see your patients during that time. It's not mandatory that you have to work 8 hours or 6 hours or 5 hours like that. It's between the clinic and the practitioner. What is the requirement of the practice in the particular clinic?
But if someone goes as an is there a concept of observer existing?
No.
You have to qualify
You cannot have any person in the clinic premises who is not licensed person.
Okay.
We have questions on Instagram.
What is the availability of medicines, range of medicines,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
especially 50 medicinal?
No. There are 30 potency, 200 potency, and some other teachers, and all the biochemic medicines in the 6x and 12x potencies are easily available. But 1m potency, 10m potency, 50 millisiemel potencies are not available. So patient, even if after studying, if you have prescribed somebody, the patient has to arrange it from their home country, wherever they may be able to acquire it.
We have a few questions on Instagram Live. Can our MD residency be counted as experience? I believe no. That
No, after your MD residency, you have to complete 2 years of your practice experience, then appear for MOH exam.
Okay. Then there's another one. DHA license exams. Any option to give online? And is there any age limit?
No, there is no age limit, but right now there is no online option available. Although now DHA has started taking exam where you can bypass MOH process and only give DHA. Okay, but then you are only licensed to practice in Dubai if you are giving DHA exam. But if you are giving MOH exam, you are licensed to practice any Emirates.
What is the cutoff for the MCQ? A very specific question.
That is what do you mean by cutoff for the MCQ?
Passing person.
Passing percentage.
Passing
probably.
percentage, they just give you pass and fail. They don't give you that you fail with 2% less or 3% less. They give you either your pass or your fail.
How easy is the MOH exam? Implying how many attempts to clear it, and is it an MCQ pattern exam?
It is an MCQ patient pattern exam, completely medical, and high level of medical skills are tested. It is not just a routine exam where you just casually walk in and give exam. Even if you are a 5 years, 10 years we have seen practitioners who are 15 years senior have failed 2 and 3 times if they are not prepared well. And we have seen, I have seen freshers clearing the exam in the first attempt if they are prepared well. So it's all depend upon how nicely you are preparing your clinicals.
I am in the UAE. Can I get contact details of the doctor when he can guide in detail? You can contact him on the Facebook page.
Most
Is active
welcome.
on
We have
Facebook.
our first Facebook page, Dr Aalim Dhandhukia, Homeopathy UAE. You can directly DM us and we'll do whatever best way we can guide you.
After joining the polyclinic, in how much time one has to clear MOH exam?
No, first you have to clear MOH exam. Only then you can join a polyclinic, not before passing the MOH exam.
Once we clear written exam, what kind of questions will they ask in oral exam? I think
That is homeopathy. In the Viva, you are tested for your homeopathic skills. There is no clinical. Completely homeopathic questions are there. You may be asked to differentiate two remedies. You may be given a symptom group and may be asked to prescribe a remedy. You may be asked that this is the patient presenting with so and so complaint. This is his blood report. These are his X-rays. What you would prescribe as a homeopath. And again, you have to communicable disease. If you decide and you say that in my country I am treating communicable disease, so this patient I have a very good experience and I will prescribe so and so, they will say thank you very much.
There are many more questions unless we have time.
You can pass it on to him.
Yeah.
If there are any
We are
more
short.
questions-
I'm sorry to say that we are running short of time. So more questions are always welcome. But you can direct it to my Facebook page, and I would love to answer. And to the best of my ability, I would guide you. Thank you very much for joining, and Anup sir, thank you very much for conceiving this total concept of this can be done.
You know, why this thought came to my mind is that there is a lot of information available. Right information is something I look forward to.
Absolutely.
So that will actually benefit the young generation to look
Absolutely.
forward, plan their careers, think about their careers.
Absolutely.
And it was very nice of you to. I was really not aware of so many fine nuances that you shared. I always assumed you just give the exam and you're done with. But it's nice. Good you have come, good you spoke, and I'm sure a lot of enthusiasm may have got excited. People are lot across the world who are watching this Instagram. And most of you who are desirous to move around to UAE, Dr. Dhandhukia is there on Facebook to be with first, and then in person when you land there.
Anytime.
Thank you so much, Ashok. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.